There we go.
What's up, everybody? It's the Nice Guy Andy podcast. We're back on. We were on Nice Guy Nation for a while, and now we're going to continue with the Nice Guy Andy podcast page. Johnny fucked that up, but it's all right.
That was you. You were the one.
How was it
there.
me? You're producing the
sitting
show,
there, buddy.
You're a producer of the show. How was it me?
You're right there sitting inside chair. You're the producer. You should have changed it.
Where'd you get
Don't try to put this on me.
Where'd you get those glasses
Well,
at?
you know, I think somebody needs
I've
sacked.
had these glasses, bud.
I think somebody needs sacked and
Yep.
somebody else
Yeah,
needs
well,
sacked.
It's time to fire you, Andy.
No, remind me to fire Sean.
Okay, Sean, you're fired again.
Can't
For the third time.
I can't fire you. You can't fire me. So, you know.
Well, Sean's the Patsy again.
Yeah, we got it. I'm too valuable around here. You're too valuable around here.
Yep,
We are back, guys. We're back. I'm sorry, guys, that we had the technical difficulty there. Actually, we went live last week on the Nice Guy Nation page, and we got like 12,000 views.
Yeah.
Oh dang! On the
Mike Tyson fight.
Oh Lord,
we had 12,000 people watching us on that.
Greatest work there ever
Live.
was.
did they really?
Yes.
Dang.
That's why that page, I was like, there's nobody who follows that page, but everybody was watching it. I guess because it was a page that's alone by itself. We don't really post to it much, so it kind of showed up.
Yeah. I'm checking my hate mail. Sorry.
Where was we? We was talking about Terry, wasn't we? Terry's name came up.
Can I start off with something else?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to know what got you into wrestling.
Uh,
What was maybe your first memory? Maybe you turned the TV on when you
As
was
a kid, yeah, as a
and
kid,
you
like
seen
what
something
made you a
and-
fan?
well, it's been around as long as I can remember. My grandmother, she probably weighed 90 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah,
And I remember we grew up dirt poor in Casey County, and we didn't have a whole lot, but we'd go up to Grandma's to watch wrestling. And she had old black and white TV in the 80s, okay, so I didn't know that's color TV until I was a little older. So she would get down there on her knees and shaking her fist, cussing the wrestlers, and just absolutely hated Ric Flair. And oh my gosh, I'm talking like 1980, 85-ish and on, and we just always been wrestling fans, and I never did put it in my head that I wanted to do wrestling.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to an event when I was 17, and I'm not going to tell the whole meat of this story, but I ended up acting like a fool, and the promoter asked me that I want to train to wrestle. I'm going to leave him unnamed because I don't want to embarrass him. No. But I started training to wrestle, and I wrestled briefly. It wasn't like I said I wasn't going to get into the past and all that, but it was briefly 5-6 years or so, and I ended up getting out of it. I ended up meeting my wife in 2004, and I was injured at the time, and met her in 2004, and I just didn't go back. She's not a wrestling fan, and she used to tell people, she was like, it's funny that if you add up the years, Brandon left wrestling, and that's how long we've been together up until I bought the company.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's just the long and the short of that. But
So remind everybody when you bought the company again. What year?
it was 2020, I believe.
2020.
Yeah.
Right when the
Yeah, it was right.
pandemic.
Yeah, right in the middle of it, and we was trying to do some planning, and they had like they had good bones to it, and my friend, I don't care to mention him, Patrick Connor, love him to death, and he's been battling cancer, but he's over it. He beat it. So
Great, good.
He's been,
Hell yeah. Fuck cancer.
Yeah.
It's all right.
did.
Hey, I guess if you're going to use that word, that'd be the perfect time to use it.
Yeah. Well, we always use when cancer comes up, we always say that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So
cancer's bad.
Dude, I got worried about him there for a little bit with it, and he ended up beating it though, and he's been over to the house, and the first whenever he started getting his strength back, like he couldn't even eat, he had a feeding tube in and everything.
Yeah.
And the first thing he wanted, he's like, "You mind if I come over?" I was like, "No, come over anytime."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I want to grill out and you cook me a steak."
Oh,
And
cool.
so that's what I done for him, and I love the guy. But
Heck yeah.
he was in there. Patrick knows a lot about wrestling, but he was the guy that was standing alone on the ship. I mean, he had some people there that knew, but he was standing alone on the ship, and so we ended up having to change gears. Things change over time, and jobs getting into play, and so Patrick got injured too, so he went away too. Now he's always been a supporter. He's always in the background, and love the guy. And that's when Jeremy Brake come on and started helping a bit. And Jeremy, he never wanted to be the booker or anything like that. He was just doing it to help out. I've known Jeremy for a long time, but then after he decided he's going to retire, then I took over fully, and it's been there ever since. Now, me and Terry, God bless, we work so well together, and to work with Terry England, and I'm really saying this 100% as truth. This isn't a punch to Terry, but working with Terry, it really takes a special person because he is difficult to work with.
Keep talking about this Terry guy. Do we know this Terry guy?
Pretty much.
But it's a good thing that it's difficult to work with because he does expect a little bit higher standard than most people does.
Yeah.
And I probably should be talking bad about him, but I love Terry. I do.
Yeah, we love Terry too. Terry is like we just started talking to him one day. Johnny talks to him a lot. Like they message each other a lot, and he just came on. Like he came on. Like we met up with him, and he's been supporter of ours since we met him, and we've been trying to support his product too. Like when they invited us down to Caverna the first time, and we showed up, and the first time I met Jimmy Walls was we pulled up in the back there to come in, and we not a lot of people knew who we were at that time, and I guess they did know who we were, but we kind of like didn't think that nobody knew who it was. And Terry and Jimmy comes out, and I was like, I asked the guy at the door, I was like, can we set up our podcast and do? And then Jimmy comes out and is like, yeah, come on in, man. He come on in, and like he looked like when I first met him. I'd seen him as a wrestler.
Shout out Rated X.
As Rated X. I'd seen him as Rated X, but he came out, he was older and just this nicest gentleman of a grandpa. And I'm like, oh, sweet grandpa guy is like helping us, And then I didn't know who he was at that point. I know of Rated X, and then he brung us in, got us a table, set us down, and then, I knew he was Rated X. I knew who he was. It just like, and then like we invited him to come over onto the podcast, and he just turned Rated X on like that, and it was like amazing. He's just like da 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 da. I was like, oh my god, this guy is still got it.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
Christopher Phillips said that's my old man.
I enjoy every time I get to talk to Jimmy or Terry or I enjoy those guys so much. Even Kyle Maggard down there.
Yeah.
The promoters are just so cool around here. I just love all of them.
We got a unique. You was talking about the territory type thing we got going on is by accident. We was talking about that just a minute ago, and I really think it was that. I don't think that any one person really started it. We just all started working together and we created.
Which is smart.
It is, and it's. I don't know. It just happened, and I guess I can take credit for it if I wanted to, but I don't know if that's the truth.
Yeah.
But who knows? I'll take credit for it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You
are the best promoter in Kentucky.
That's right. You hear that, Terry? You hear that, Jimmy?
Yeah.
But anyways, no, Jimmy, him and Terry, y'all ever watch that movie Secondhand Lines?
You gonna give me that 20 later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
And T-shirt. So, do you remember the movie Secondhand Lines?
No, I don't.
Oh, y'all have to watch it.
No.
Well, there's two old guys, uncles is what they are. They bring this young kid in, and he's like so accustomed to being in the city life around his mom and dad. They bring him out to the country, and they're rough around the edges. They're doing a bunch of silliness all the time, and that's how I feel. I'm that little kid, and I'm having to deal with these two cantankerous uncles, and but they are good to me. And
Yeah.
what, like I said earlier, too, the biggest buttholes in Kentucky, I somehow can work with. Well, I guess because I am too.
Yeah.
But we all get along pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them, I'd do anything in the world for them. Kyle, I've just now started to get to know Kyle. And
Kyle's amazing. I love Kyle, man. He does a lot for the community down there in Hazard and stuff, and all the communities he throws these shows on. He gives part of the money back to the community.
he sure does.
He'll break the sound barrier though.
Great guy, man. He's come up here and he's been in the studio at least 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
And when I first met Kyle, he was like he didn't really know who we were, and it was in Wilmore at a New South wrestling show, and I was like, it's like, you want to come on the podcast? He was the big heel then, and I was like, can you do a promo for us? And he's like, what do you want to do? I was like, just crap all over the belt, man, if you want. Just crap all over us, the podcast. He's like, I got his attention. He's like, oh, you want me to crap all over your product? I was like, please. So him and Lemon Juice did a nice little
I think I remember that.
nice little skit where they found the belt in the trash, and they found the belt in the bathroom after somebody had stole it, and we just had a good time with them, and we've been buddies with Cal ever since, because we wanted to play along with with what was going on.
Yeah, Kyle's going to have that huge show this Saturday, November 23rd. He's got Godfather coming, as you know. We had Godfather not this past year, the year before in Caverna, but he's repeating it back at Hazard. At the AMW show, and
it's going to be in Hazard.
I think Lord, he's going to kill me for not knowing that. I apologize, Kyle, but I think
find out. One of you guys find out.
Yeah, and guys,
Johnny,
I don't care.
You'll find it better than me.
I don't care if you're at the other end of the state. Y'all need to come over there. Kyle puts on a good show. Godfather, he's remarkable to work with, and
it's called War Games or something, right?
War Games, yep, it is War Games, and we had been talking about this back and forth. We was all going to go in to get a cage together, and
I seen a cage the other day that somebody. I seen somebody was selling a cage the other day on Facebook.
It's going to be in Hazard. Where at?
Hazard High School.
Hazard High School.
If I can find the info, because I think it was cheap. But I seen
did y'all end up getting one?
The other day was selling a cage.
Oh, he's got a cage.
Yeah, I hadn't talked to him about where he got it, but yeah, he ended up getting one. But having War Games, you have to have especially 2 cages pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 2 rings.
Yeah, 2 rings, and of course.
So is he? Y'all doing the 2 ring thing?
I believe he is.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So don't hold me to that, but I think that he is. I have 2 rings myself.
Yeah.
And, so I just didn't have a double cage.
Yeah.
Or I'd just let him, borrow it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. We let each other borrow our stuff if.
Yeah, because you know that he's going to take care of it.
Yeah,
because they value their stuff. Because that's the problem with like a lot of people. I let Johnny run the studio anytime he wants.
Sure.
He's got a key to the place. It's because I know he's going to treat this stuff like he's going to treat the studio just like his. He ain't going to come in and just freaking eat his cheeseburger on my soundboard and just leave the
or French fries on your belt.
Oh or French fries on the belt or anything.
Or eat into the microphone and drop crumbs on it.
It's just you gotta know who values stuff the same way you do,
sure.
and that way you can be partnership with somebody. It's like you can't hardly partner with just anybody.
No, you can't. And then trust me, I've tried to partner with people on a couple different things. I was telling y'all earlier on about the podcast and stuff with that one guy. I'm not going to mention him by name, but
Is it Mike Keaton?
I like Mike. Mike's a good kid. He is, but
we like Mike too. We give him a hard
Tommy
time sometimes.
Green in the house.
What your mama said.
He did this.
Anyways, you guys go on your little rinky-dink bullshit podcast.
So he did that little thing on the Facebook, and I was like, oh my God, that's gold. I'm stealing that from you. And I called him up and was like, I'm using that sound bite.
Yeah. Mike's got a good heart, and Mike, he doesn't understand sometimes, and I've tried to tell him over time. stop throwing the bombs all the time. If things isn't going your way, just don't make people mad. You're a likable guy.
There's no reason to to crap on other people, to be so critical. Some of these guys are just starting out. They're not going to be perfect. I always compare it to stand-up comedy. The comedians, they work out in front of the audience. Yeah. It's just like a amateur pro wrestler works out in front of the audience. Like there's hardly anywhere for a pro wrestler to go practice. And plus, practice isn't doing your craft in front of an audience. Well, you got to do your stuff in front of an audience.
There was a place for them to go train and everything, and I kept that thing up for about a year and a half, and only a handful of them, and you see they're still around today.
Yeah.
They had enough sense to come down and use the training facility.
Yeah, I heard that you had.
Yeah, but the rest of the guys, that they're not in wrestling anymore. And there's a reason for that. They wouldn't.
Do you still have the training center?
No, I shut it down because it was just a dead cost.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get anybody to do what they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not going to continue doing this, trying to do something nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something, and I hate putting this guy over. Now, he's a great talent, but Marty Clay, Lord, he would drive from Jackson, Kentucky just to meet people.
Yeah.
At that building to help them out, to make them better. Jimmy Walls was down there trying to help them.
Marty's an incredible star. He's an incredible guy. He really is. He did tell us about that. He told us about that when he was on here.
The man.
My favorite story is when he says, when a guy thought that shit didn't stink and I had to stretch.
Marty's an incredible athlete and a good person, and will catch a turtle with his hands.
Turtle man.
Me and him was talking before, he started annoying me and everything. We was talking about going hand fishing and everything.
Yeah.
And we grew up a lot of the same way, I guess. He's out there catching turtles and catfish, and I just done the catfish. I didn't want nothing to do with the turtles.
No.
Noodling?
Yeah,
noodling. Snapping turtles.
Yeah. Now, one of my old friends, Neil James, banjo man, I'm called Wild Man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Ernie is Turtle Man, but Neil actually got the show on the air, and which he's passed away now, and
R.I.P. to Neil.
Yeah, he's always holding the bag. He was always
get it in the bag, Neil. Get him in the sack. Tornado it. Oh man!
I traveled all over the state with that guy doing political stuff.
Really?
And, he made my job so easy where I'd have to set up events and get people to come to him for fundraisers or whatever. We would literally go into to a restaurant, and where this started was Coal Run, Kentucky, Coal Run Village. Yeah. The mayor's an amazing mayor, Andrew Scott, over there. One of very good friends of mine, and his dad, Will T. Scott. He was a former Supreme Court Justice, state of Kentucky. But we went over there. Will T. was running for governor at the time. But me and Neil had went over there, and we stopped in at one of the steakhouses. And I didn't realize what I had until we sat down and tried to order something. The next thing I know, everybody's sitting there looking at Neil, and I was like, "Is he really this popular?" Because y'all have to understand, I don't watch reality TV. I don't watch a whole bunch of TV at all, other than maybe Seinfeld or something. I like it pretty well, but
I don't watch much TV either.
But next thing I know, people's coming up and asking this guy for an autograph.
Hold on. What year was this?
Let's see. 2015? No. Is it?
When did Turtle Man come on?
Oh, it was way before that. There's already in syndication at that point. Lord, I'm trying to think what year that was. I think it might have been 15 or 16.
Election year, maybe?
Yeah, it was, and
16?
They all start blending together.
Yeah.
But so he was in the primary and taking on Matt Bevin and a few others. Matt ended up winning. And Matt's a good dude, too. I love Matt. I know some people have a little dislike for him, but I'm telling you, Matt is one of the most amazing people that I've ever met. And he was a good governor, and I hated that he didn't win re-election, because the state of Kentucky had been a lot better off if he would have won.
Who's that? Matt Bevin?
Matt Bevin, yeah. So, but we was over in Coal Run, Kentucky, and we sat down at the steakhouse. And
is that who you worked for when you did the political stuff?
Well, yeah, yes, but I still do it part time now. But I have my own business. I run candidates and do analysis and things. So,
how did you get into that? Did you go to college for that kind of stuff, or just?
Well, originally I didn't. And then I went to college and got a degree in political science. So, but it ended up helping out. I know a lot of people's like, oh, college is dead. College is dead. It is some. Yeah.
There's certain things that you got to go to college for, like to be a doctor, a lawyer, political science, like certain things that you need to go to college for to do.
Yep.
Like,
Well, I didn't need a degree to be to do what I was doing, but it definitely
helped
the resume out. It definitely helped.
Yeah. I wish I could have went to college and got a degree. I've got a little bit of college, but I never found anything that I really wanted to study. And
well, I waited till I was 29 to go with it. It's just political science is a good all around degree. And it helps you with networking, and it helps you with
life in general, right? Marketing.
So, truthfully, it does help me in the wrestling business. But I think being in wrestling earlier helped me be able to talk to people later. So I do base a lot of the stuff that I've been successful on professional wrestling when I first started it, because I was an introvert. I couldn't talk to anybody, but it kind of brought me on my shell, And now you got the product that you see now.
Yeah, that's just like me.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like Johnny too. When I met Johnny, he was on his couch, and the podcast to bring Johnny completely out of his shell, and now we have Superfly Johnny Lee.
Yeah, and that's all I call him, by Superfly. So, he's definitely a good addition. But yeah, I learned a lot from Neil going from county to county. But that one night, I seen how people viewed entertainers too. And I mean, they'd go to him for an autograph, and then they'd turn to me like I was somebody. And by accident, we didn't plan this. Neil, just without even thinking, he said, well, let me tell you something, because I didn't know what to do. It's like they was asking for his autograph. I wasn't part of the show. And he'd say, this is the political arm of my rig, or something. I can't remember how he put it. He's like, this is Brandon. He's going to tell you all about our guy we're trying to get elected. And he just off the cuff, just like that.
Wow.
And then next thing I know, I had 50, 60 people listening to me talk about these people.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt in my mind every one of those people went and voted for him. So, but, that's kind of how that worked out. But it helped me out with a lot of the ability to network a little, to understand how to network too. Neil, God rest his soul, we was planning on doing a show, and I'm not going to get into it because it might end up happening down the road, with not Neil, of course, but in memory of Neil. But he loved the idea, and he was buying into it heavily.
Like a wrestling show?
No, it wasn't. This is me getting back into wrestling. No, I'm a history guy. I'll just
okay.
I got a question for you. So how did Neil meet Turtle Man?
I don't know. They've been friends for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Now he did tell me a story one time about him going over to Lebanon, some sawmill, and somebody needing a raccoon or something out of there, and it was one of his friends, and then next thing you know, I guess that's probably where they did meet. And please, Ernie, if I'm getting this wrong, don't crucify me on it, but I think, if I'm remembering right, Neil said that they brought Ernie in, and that's kind of how it all begun. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me.
So is Ernie from around where y'all are from?
Lebanon. He's
Ernie
county
is?
over, yeah.
Is he not doing anything anymore? Does he not do the...
I don't know. I think he tried to do something on YouTube for a while, but I haven't heard out of him. Of course, a few of the, Neil's passed, Squirrel Brady's passed, a few guys passed.
Squirrel passed away?
Wow. That sucks.
So, but...
you knew it was a good episode when they brought Squirrel in.
Yeah.
You knew they was in for something special.
Yeah. Neil wrote a song about him and put it on that second album. And poor old Neil, he done it at the Tracking Shack over in Rockcastle County, and I was there with that whole situation. And those guys do a great job. Mike Anglin, and gosh, he's such a good dude, and he does good work. But Neil's albums didn't get off the ground because some of those agents talked him into putting it on like Amazon, where he's getting a penny per song, and I'm like, yeah. And so I talked him into making CDs. He had a buddy up in Louisville that I talked to, and the guy I chipped in some, that guy chipped in some, and Neil sold every one of them daggone or CDs within, I think, a week and a half, and he was going to pay us back like, no, just order more, and he kept doing it. He ended up paying us back all that money, plus he was trying to pay us some, but I wouldn't let him. So
yeah, exactly.
But I can tell story after story about Neil. I love Neil, and I hate that he's gone. He's a dear friend, but
it's like you spent a lot of time with Neil.
A lot. I spent a lot of time with Neil, and I heard a lot of good music on the way.
I'm sure. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That sucks to lose them like that too.
Yeah.
But
you
learned a lot from them.
Yeah. Well, let's talk more about TCW. Where actually do you run the shows out? What little cities do y'all actually run out of?
So we run Monticello, and Ferguson's our primary show, and Monticello's our secondary show. We're going to run the full schedule of 2025 in Ferguson, and we're going to do quarterly shows in Monticello because we've got some other commitments coming up that it's going to involve a little bit more of a tour mindset.
Yeah.
So, we're planning on adding Liberty on, Russell Springs, Jamestown, Campbellsville.
Wow, so y'all gonna slam onto it a little bit bigger in 2025.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as much bigger as it is just more planned. Instead of doing 12 shows in Monticello, Kentucky, we're going to do 4 shows, and then the other months that we're off, we're just going to be in one of those other towns and cycle them out.
And that Aspire Center, I enjoy every time me and him have been down there. It looks just great.
Yeah, the Aspire Center is they're very accommodating too. It's just a nice place to be, and they've been very supportive of what we're doing. I want to give a shout out to Shane Blevins. He's the guy that runs that up, and Shane's such a good guy, and he's always been a cheerleader for us. So he's supportive of what we us doing the 4 shows, and we're just gonna see where it goes from there.
Exactly, because I think that it's gonna be big in 2025.
Yeah, I think the attraction's there for sure. I've already got several shows planned, and we're just trying to extend out some. Trying not to run on top of anybody. Yep. I'm trying to give them a little bit of the space. I try to stay in my general vicinity. Of course, I'm the only one running in my area.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Jimmy will come in for the fair show.
Yep.
We're very supportive of that. We actually help in the background. Well, let me rephrase that. I helped the first year or two, but then we do Salina, Tennessee, the show y'all's at.
Yeah.
So it just always seems to fall like that. Jimmy's in Russell County that night, and me and Terry, we had to go to Salina to do that one. So in my home county, or where I live now, my home county is Casey County, but Russell County is where I live. But I don't even do anything other than the poster ads and stuff for it now. And Jimmy just does such a good job at getting those events like that. He's very good at the fairs and festivals. So I have to give him credit for it.
They're so fun to go to.
Oh yeah.
What about the judge getting you arrested like that?
Johnny, I don't even know why you didn't want to bring that up. But
it's just something to start thinking, why would they arrest the great Brandon T. Wilson for?
Well, it is definitely bullying, political bullying. I was forced into an arm wrestling match with that silly judge that had no business whatsoever even being able to even come within 10 foot of me. And for some reason, Terry, Jimmy, and Kyle thought that it was a great idea to sign off on that, and I didn't like it very well. Of course, we had that big mouth fake Reverend Ronnie Roberts that stuck his big nose into everything too. I'm not very happy with that guy whatsoever. He just keeps poking in my business, and he's about to overstep his bounds. We'll just put it like that. He did overstep his bounds in Metcalfe County that night. You know, I was just trying to protect myself.
Yep.
The guy we was in, I agree. I finally agreed to do the arm wrestling match. I probably shouldn't have done that because I probably, if I would have been very serious about it, I would have killed the guy.
You would have.
I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, I hate beating up feeble old men, especially that silly judge down there. But you know, it was a little biased. Ronnie, I don't know what he is doing, but he was just his presence alone just irritates me, and I don't know if I wasn't on my A game when he showed up, because I just can't stand to look at the guy, and I just want to get out of the ring as much as possible. But if I had to do over again, I'd just slammed that guy and been done with it. But instead, he kept trying to pull in, and I'll admit, maybe I did poke him in the eye once or twice or three times, but. You know, and then I got disqualified. I don't even know how Ronnie Roberts even had the authority to disqualify anybody whatsoever, but he did. And
did he even have a referee's license?
You know, Johnny, that's a very, very valid point. I'm going to have to check into that, because I don't know if he did or not.
Exactly.
So this whole charade could be undone, I guess, you know. But next thing I know, that silly judge is calling for the police to come and arrest me, and here I am trying to mind my own business, and I jump out of the ring, and one of the few times the security guard is at the point where he probably should have been.
Yeah.
The only time since I've been back in wrestling, the security guards people want him. I almost trip over the guy.
Oh no!
And of course that cut off my exit, and there I go. And get carted off.
And it was unjust.
It was very much unjust. It wasn't nice. It wasn't fun. And, you know, Terry laughed. I'm sitting here thinking about that, Johnny, thinking about that. I'm talking all this good stuff about Terry England, but he was the first person to call. I didn't even call my wife. I called Terry England, and you know what he done? He hung the phone up on me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
He
disrespected me to laugh at you.
It wasn't fun. I mean, there's some sketchy individuals in there, sketchy, and I think half those people was at the show, so it made it even worse on me.
Yep.
Then Ronnie comes out in Ferguson and does all that silliness, and evidently while I was incapacitated. The TCW board of directors decided to take away all my power to the end of the year.
Oh, no.
And I don't know how they even done that. I own the daggone company.
Yeah, how you taking power from the one that has all the power?
Well, I thought I had all the power, but evidently having a board of directors, they kind of put you off on the end there.
Yeah.
It makes you think that Ronnie...
That's why me and Johnny should be on the board of directors.
That's probably not a bad idea.
Next year, when you should nominate us.
You know,
we'd definitely be on your side.
Well, they all said that too.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know how it got all convoluted.
Exactly.
Mm.
Maybe they wanted to get paid more.
You sure Ronnie Roberts didn't try to bribe them?
He's probably passing around some of that money out of that collection plate he carries around.
Exactly. So. Talk about he's doing it for donating to the church. He's probably just passing that to the board of directors saying, hey, make me in charge.
Well,
I'll do it.
Johnny, I'm going to tell you something. Since he showed up, my life has been a little bit tougher. My ability to promote has been a little bit tougher. I'm just trying to find the best talent possible for Triple Crown Wrestling. And here comes Ronnie Roberts, not minding his business. You seen I got rid of that goof Izzy Vaden.
Yep.
That is a work of art, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was a work of art. I mean, he didn't even know it was coming. But anyways, I warned them. I'd been warning them for months, on top of months, and then I finally had to step in, and I had to get rid of some of these guys that just wasn't bringing it to the table.
Exactly.
Who's your champion right now?
Izzy Vaden. He won the belt back.
Yeah, I bet that was a forced win back.
Yeah, he won the belt back at Lake Fest, and
ever since then they've been using cheating.
Well, once again, we get another politician involved. That goofy councilman Dwight Richards down there in Jamestown. He shoves me, and next thing I know, I got Mr. Breeze Mike Mann. He somehow gets my clipboard and starts wearing me out with it. Gets Tony Corral caught off guard and Izzy Penzi. I mean, how's that fair?
Chris Crow's tuning in.
Chris Crow's watching us. Best.
See, I like Chris Crow.
Yeah.
Chris,
he is the best.
Yeah, see, Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
And he's showing respect.
Such a talent, isn't he? Such a talent.
Oh yes, and like I said, that's what I started bringing in. Once I started getting some of these guys out, it opened the ways for the Tyler Lee deputies, the Chris Crows, and so on and so forth. Drew Dillinger. I don't. Have y'all seen Drew?
Yeah, he's good.
Drew is a maniac, isn't he?
And shame on me, Eric Porter.
Oh wow,
Eric Porter.
Eric Porter is one of the most underrated wrestlers in Kentucky. I think
he
doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough limelight. He doesn't get enough credit for the wrestling skills that he has. Yep. I'd love to be able to get down there and get more clips of Eric, because Eric is incredible.
What about James Kendrick?
James is one of another guy that doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough credit for what he does.
He helped train this guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't a very good training session.
You say that, but
I wasn't paying attention.
But he was doing a pretty good job.
I underestimated Johnny Lee. I didn't know the knees to the head was coming. I just,
Well, he's a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he what is it? You call yourself a podcast god?
He is a podcast god.
Oh my gosh! I mean, you're taking on a deity, man.
I know, right? I mean, yeah.
And that was the deity knees.
Yeah. But Eric Porter, going back on him, I'm managing Eric now.
Okay.
So Eric,
that's a great choice.
Oh, it is. And Eric, I'm managing him, and the last show. We had Chris Crow tagging with Eric, taking on Izzy Vaden and Ronnie Roberts, and because once again Ronnie tried to stick his nose in where it didn't belong, and here we go. It was going to be a 3-on-1 match against Ronnie, which was fair.
Yeah.
But, exactly. We done a 2-on-1, and I'm just trying to get him to up to his game.
He's supposed to have Jesus on his side.
Well, iron sharpens iron, and that's all I was trying to do with that guy.
Exactly.
So he should understand that. But then he pulls that garbage of my power being taken away by the board of directors, and then they turned it back into a tag team. And so they end up running Drew Dillinger off at that point. He couldn't even be at ringside. I was
such a monster.
I know.
Such a monster. That guy in the ring is a monster.
Oh yeah, Drew. He's man.
I know he's slimmed down and he's gotten small, a little bit. But when he was bigger, man, he was
he's a force
crushing people in there. Now it's like he was using his weight. I think before. He was using his weight to throw his weight around more, but now he's gotten slimmer. He's developed more like actual wrestling skills. He was always a great wrestler, but he's just upped his game since he dropped that weight.
Former Gen X world champion.
Great talent.
That's true. Yes, going back and looking at some of the footage and stuff. I like the first time I seen Drew was in Monticello, Kentucky. And I'm like, he's all right. But then I went back and watched the footage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy's better than all right. This guy is.
That's somebody we haven't got to see in the ring. Like, we've seen him in the ring a lot, but I haven't got to get a lot of clips from him. I really would love to get more clips of him, more clips of Eric Porter. Those guys just need more focused on.
They are, and they're getting the focus at Triple Crown Wrestling.
Yeah. That's right.
They are getting the focus.
We need to get down there and see you guys more.
Because Drew Dillinger is a great wrestler. I mean, when we saw him at Grindhouse Pro Wrestling, he threw that chair at Chase Holiday, and I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah. And then, we got other guys coming in. Kevo Thrives, he's on the scene now. He's a younger guy. Just new to the scene, and we'll see if we can do something with him. And it's very promising. Kevo's great. James Kendrick, he's great. I didn't say enough about James, and he's probably thinking that I'm putting him down.
James is incredible.
He is, dude.
He's incredible. Every time I see him wrestling, every time I've seen him wrestle, he just blows my mind. I ran into him down at I was down at TNA wrestling when they were in Louisville.
Yeah.
And I looked up, and he was standing right next to me. I was like, "What you doing, James?" He sat over there and watched wrestling with me for a few minutes. But yeah, it was really cool running into him down there.
Yeah. He's definitely good talent, and last year, between him and Brandon Wolf, I mean, they tore everything down. They tore everything up, and
Brandon's incredible in the ring.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
He's not my cup of tea as far as what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
In what I'm trying to do.
But if he get away from that good boy attitude he's got,
if he had a little bit more dirt,
he needs a little more killer instinct.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
but you can't take his ability away from him. That guy, he's like Marty. I wish Marty would be a little bit more of our persuasion on the little dirt. But both of them, they're just very good at what they do.
Yeah.
And even though me and Brandon don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, Brandon's always giving 100%.
Always. Yeah, always.
Yeah, I seen he put out a post today on Facebook, and
Yeah, I saw it too.
He was talking about some promoters not appreciating him. I mean, even though once again we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, I do appreciate Brandon. I do.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, if he makes you money, then
I definitely appreciate him.
Yeah,
for that.
he like that money. You got anybody that makes you money, you got to appreciate him a little bit.
Yeah. But you also got to appreciate his talent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his talent is where his talent is where his money is. If he would just get away from the good boy attitude and and stop kissing the babies and start smacking everybody around, I think Brandon he would step his game up a little bit more.
Well, you kiss enough of them babies, guess what happens? They throw up on you eventually.
That's right.
So,
nobody likes babies.
Yeah. The baby's all right, but just don't let them throw up on you.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable they're going to do that.
Oh, yeah. They might.
But he's also an inspiration because not only does he wrestle, but he has autism, and he doesn't let that keep him down.
No, he doesn't, and he promotes it very well, too.
Yes, he does.
There's a lot of fine points to the guy, but there's a lot of bad points to him, too. And I'm sure that I'll see him in 2025, and who knows if the paths will cross in a bad way, good way, or whatever. Hopefully he'll keep his distance.
Yeah, are you guys doing any more shows in 2024?
No. We're going over to Kyle's to help support him. November 23rd, this Saturday, we're going to do that. But we've put the plug in it for the rest of the year. We're planning for a big 2025.
Yeah.
And a lot of updating of stuff, and one thing, I have a show in Ferguson January 4th. It's already booked, and one thing I do have a problem with every year, and I guess I'll tell everyone I'm listening today, all you daggone wrestlers and event staff, referees, and everything, renew your license now.
Yep.
Renew your license now.
Yeah.
Don't make me yell at you.
Remind me, Johnny, we need to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, because if you wait till December 31st, you will not get them by
Me and Johnny
4th.
do have. We don't have our actually in-ring license, but we do have a staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The event staff, and they're important to have. I mean, the event staff is a huge deal, and it lets my ring crew and my staff operate perfectly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
and then us having ours, we can come down and help sometimes when people need help.
Y'all are always welcome.
Yeah, we don't mind. I wish you guys were closer. I really wish you guys were closer.
We didn't mind helping set up the ring. We've done it for New South. We did it for TCW as well before the show started.
Yeah. When I first got back in, Terry had COVID.
Yeah.
Was just getting over it. And Jimmy had that Russell County show at the fair, and he didn't have a whole lot of ring crew. Everybody flaked out on him, and I live a mile and a half from the fairgrounds, 2 miles probably. Yeah. And Terry, he called me and asked me to I find some people to help set up the ring. And just by luck, I was actually off that day. And I drive over there. I couldn't find anybody. Everybody's at work, but I drive over there and I help him and junior and senior bass. I help them. It's us three, and then Brandon and them. A few of the other guys started helping set up too.
Yeah.
And I just think it's even as a promoter, I'm not too good to set up the ring. I hope that I don't have to do it too much because I'm usually handling the money, getting.
You got to set up the camera and set up all the other stuff too, you know.
Yeah, and I'm usually my guy Mike Ware. He does a lot of that stuff, but I help him out doing the back end stuff of the curtains and the audio video.
And that's very important as well.
It's very important, but you know, the ring is. I've got a four person crew, and they can set up and tear down faster than anybody.
Yep.
And they do it with precision. And since I've got them, I don't have a bunch of broke stuff. Oh my God! Yeah. I spent a small fortune in replacing stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. They just throw it on there, and that got rid of those ring crews and got these guys in. And I drew a line in the sand. Me and Terry had talked about it back in 2020. Let's see, we're in 4 now. I started talking about it in 2023. I told him, I was like, I'm not going to have a ring crew that any of them wants to train to wrestle.
Yeah.
And because it seemed like every time I got those guys that wanted to train, they'd be there just long enough for them to get a little bit of training, and you wouldn't see them anywhere. The next thing you know, they're on some of these mud match shows, and just because they said they trained, and they might have had 2 training sessions.
Yeah, and I hate that.
I do too, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
And the people that break the ring need to understand the ring is sacred. Yeah. When you're not wrestling side of it, you treat it like it's your baby.
Yeah. And, you know, we have that one goofy guy that come out of the woodwork every now and then and start acting like he's going to start promoting again. And he actually started to buy my ring, and he just never come up with the money, and he's trying to steal it's what he's trying to do. He's thinking I was going to give him the ring because I was nice to him, and he's a nice guy. He paid me a little bit of money here and there, and then he just flaked it. And every now and then you'll hear of that guy just enough to come out and bury somebody. But that guy like that, that guy his face should be on a poster of, if you look like or act like this guy, you should not ever be in wrestling.
Yeah. And
y'all probably know who I'm talking about, but I don't even want to say his name because I don't want to give him a platform. But everybody out there, I'm speaking these words, they automatically know who I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And you know who you are if you're watching.
Yeah. And I try not to talk too bad about people, but that guy right there is he's the problem with the wrestling business. Guys like that, they come in and they just think the world revolves around them. They don't know how to do anything the right way. They end up stiffing their talent. He stiffed the talent down in Rocky Top, and if I'm remembering right, I think Kyle Hawk paid out the salaries for everybody. And he didn't even have to do it.
Yeah.
And Kyle, I think Marty and them was at that show, and that if you can't pay you guys, don't run.
Exactly. And I mean, how do you think that you're going to get to do another show if you don't pay your guys? Those guys remember that. It's a business of like, hey, scratch my back, I scratch your back. Let's do this for you. I do this for me. And if you screw one of them over, then the other one's going to tell this one, tell that one, and then you're not going to have any credibility.
Key word in professional wrestling: professional.
Yeah,
if they can't be professional,
even on this level, everybody's a professional. You got to be a professional.
Yeah, well, I treat it as a business. Also treat it as a hobby too, but I treat it serious.
Exactly.
I try to do the best that I can. I try to put the best product out there, and I try to put some of the best people out there. Have we put some stinkers on? Yeah, we have.
Me and Johnny was in.
Hey, ours got reaction.
Was that probably the worst wrestling match you ever seen in your life? No, it wasn't. Okay, see, we did better than some people, Johnny.
No,
we did better than somebody.
I'm gonna put it like this to you, Andy. Was it crickets? No.
No,
because we still had people reacting.
You didn't have crickets because we was back there, a monitor, and me and Terry and Harrison was back there watching it. And Terry looked like the cat that eats the canary, and I'm not trying to put y'all down.
No.
Like the
He
fans
loved it.
they loved it.
Yeah.
But Terry is over there just like, because he knew we was going to give him heck.
Yeah, yeah.
And whenever your shoe come off, I lost it. I lost it. I was like,
and when that shoe came off, I was like,
and I picked up the shoe and I shoved it in his face.
No, that's why I took it off, because I knew that Andy would use it. I was like, as long as he doesn't try to hit me with it, it can be used.
There was two other spots in there that, and Jane, please don't hate me for this, but I lost it. And I'm glad it didn't happen.
Was she about to fail?
Whenever she almost fell.
Yeah. I got to catch her.
This is how big of a butthole I am. And I felt bad that she stumbled.
Yeah. I might fail for.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
yeah,
you got hit. It was funny.
Yeah. We're adjusting this mic because for some reason I don't know how to operate it. But anyway.
That's better.
Yeah.
That's better.
But she almost fell out of the ring, and you know, my cynical self that I am, I get a chuckle out of that. Then I feel immediate remorse out of it, like, oh my, she almost hurt herself.
I was right there with her, and I called her, and I got a chuckle out of it. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then like somebody in the audience said something to her, and she said something back to him. She knows what she said.
She healed it up though.
Yeah, she healed it up on him. But like, my
favorite spot from the whole match was when I told her that whenever I'm by that rope, I want you to grab my back of my head. I want you to pull down so that we're high in the rope.
Johnny's always trying to get some cute girl to choke him.
Hey.
Oh my!
Sometimes you have to pay for that.
So it wasn't the worst match you ever seen?
No, not at all. Well,
you know what my favorite part of it is? When we was coming out and Terry's like, guys, this isn't one of our regular guys. These aren't our regular guys. This is kind of like a Special Olympics contest. And I'm like, I was back there with the Jane. I was like, he just called us Special Olympics.
Dude, whenever he said that, I looked over at Harrison, and there's a bunch of people. I'm not going to tell who all's back there, but everybody's shaking their head, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was fun.
We're going to get canceled.
Yeah. Not there's anything, we support Special Olympics. We got a few guys that actually, like Chris Blade and all those guys, they got Special Olympics, but then, you know, to call me and Johnny a Special Olympics match was like, that was my favorite part.
You know, Sean done a decent job reffing.
He's ref before.
Yeah, that's the first time I'd ever seen him. He done a fairly decent job.
He's had some training, like ref training.
Oh, you know what? I didn't know that.
On one hand, at one point in some match, I actually watched the video back. When he's counting to 3, he hesitates on the last pin count. He does 1, 2. Then he does.
He knew I was going to fire.
Yeah, he's trying to give y'all a chance, is what it was.
He knew I was going to fire him if he counted 3. So he has to take. Like,
you did fire him.
I did fire him.
Good for
yes,
you.
He got fired. I always, if I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. I'd do it. I'll fire him. And then Johnny hired him back. So,
but he don't show me no gratitude.
Do you regret hiring him?
What?
Do you regret hiring him back?
Yeah.
Well, you should.
Well, we fired him and then hired him back, and he's only been here like half the time.
Because
with double the pay, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you know he's got y'all by the short hairs. Is what it is. Yeah. He knows that.
Instead of getting nothing, he gets a little bit more nothing.
But you know,
nothing.
Yeah. No, I probably wouldn't say it's the worst match I ever seen, and I'm going to go back to that as we lovingly call it, that abortion of a match of Gummy Bear and Joe's. Yeah. And it wasn't Joe, it was Gummy Bear.
Yeah.
That was a mess.
So Gummy Bear and Joe had a worse match than us.
Yeah.
That's good.
Gummy Bear had a worse match.
Gummy Bear had a match by itself.
I don't think I used him again after that.
I bet inside Gummy Bear.
Joe's pretty decent in the ring, ain't
he? Yeah, Joe will say this himself. Joe wants to train quite a bit more, and some of the guys that he started out with, much like we see the pattern, they start out with some of the wrong people, and they don't get fully trained the right way.
Yeah.
And so that they spend a lot of time with some of these guys, and whenever they get to a real wrestling promotion. Yeah. They're kind of behind the 8 ball. Joe to come down and train some at the training center, but he said it himself. He's like, I think I'm just going to step back, and I think I just want to do something with wrestling. So that's where.
But he's good in the ring. If he got to practice more, he would be a lot better. Like you said.
Yeah, I think if Joe committed himself to a full training regimen, and got in there, got very serious about it, I think Joe would be fine. But I'm going to tell you right now, Joe has found his calling. Yeah. If he can harness it. Yeah. He was a very good interviewer for Triple Crown Wrestling, other than when I had to smack him across the face at one time. Yeah. Or was it twice? I think it's twice.
Probably 3 times.
If not, I'm going. Yeah,
he deserved the third time.
Well, he deserved all of them.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't go around like Zsa Zsa Gabor just smacking people for nothing.
They have to make you really mad. That's
right. But Joe done very well at doing the interviewing. Everybody loved Joe. I don't know why they loved him so much, because I can't stand him. But he does have a little bit of a knack for doing certain things. And I think his podcast, if he can harness some of the things, he'll be all right. Yeah. He just needs to get a little bit focused. I think
his communication skills, with working with us, we just have a lack of communication between us. I don't mind to work with Joe. I've always liked Joe. Joe came up, like I said, showed up one time when we needed some help, and he sold some of his stuff and paid a bill for us, which I would have came up, but he volunteered, and we took him. We was like, okay, cool, that's awesome, and I don't know, it seems like there's some kind of competition between us and them, and not for us, but maybe from them. I don't know, but if he had a better communication with each other, I think we would have, if he would have communicated with, hey, I want to do this. We're going to say this about you guys. Play into it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then we get to hearing that he said something about us, and then it's like, was that a shoot or was that a work? I don't know. And it's like, I'll work with you. Yeah. I love that. I love if you healed on us, and we healed on them. Work. But if you won't, if you don't tell us, then how do we know? And you were trying to shit on our product, and I don't want to I don't want to stop his momentum because
Well, if you remember, I tried to establish communication, and we was doing very well with that at first. Yeah.
You even offered to bring him up here.
I did. We was going to have dinner and everything, all of us, and I think when I had to smack him that day, it jarred something loose. Yeah. And pretty much that was the end of it. Yeah. And it wasn't long after that they left Triple Crown Wrestling too. Yeah. I still support Joe and what he does. He does need smacked around from time to time, but. But maybe he'll open that communication with y'all, because let's face it, y'all are not all going to do it yourself. Yeah. Joe's not going to do it himself.
No, he can't do it yourself. No. You just can't.
And like you say, I wish that we could get down there more. Yeah. If you and Joe was working together, Joe was covering our shows and stuff, and Terry's and Jimmy's, and y'all collaborated together. Yeah. What would that do for wrestling in the state of Kentucky, Northern Tennessee?
I know, exactly. If he could have been down there taking he could have been down there taking clips and sending them to me and Johnny. We could have been posting them, and we could have been putting over his show, and we could have communicated with him. We have a
team up with him.
We have a bigger audience. We have probably a 10-time bigger audience than he does, and we don't mind. I don't mind sharing my audience. Sure. It's just I always compare it to if you go to Vegas. There's a casino right next to each other, and they build walkways to each other. Sure. I want to build walkways, just like you guys from y'all's promotion. Y'all are building walkways to each other. That's the podcast, we need to build walkways to each other and help each other. A share from our podcast of his, me sharing his podcast on my stuff was fine. See, I don't mind. I don't want it to be just a Nice Guy Andy podcast. I mean, Johnny's got his own show. Sure. B Money's got his own show. Jane does her own thing on Tuesday nights.
We encouraged Joe to do his show because when he came out to our show, it was just something that he's thinking inside his head. We're like, Joe, You got the voice for it.
Do it, Joe. You got the momentum. You just you got it in your thought that's what you want to do, and if that's what you really want to do, you should do it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people support Joe and what he's wanting to do, and I just hope that he can see the support. Yeah. And he probably thinks I'm putting him down in that comment, and I'm not.
No.
There's a lot of things I do put him down about, but that's not one of them. I think that he could really do something, and even if he didn't work with y'all, he's got a good situation if he just builds upon it. But
I mean, he can do it without us.
But y'all need a network. Network is the key now.
But it's all helpful to help, like, you know, for us to help them and them to help us. And, you know, Jane come on, like she was doing some stuff for somebody else and they wouldn't appreciate her. And I told Johnny, I was like, invite her to come and work with us. Like,
and guess what? We also built network with WW Podcast and the Final Count.
Yeah, the OVW Podcast are our friends, and they invite, you know, they every time they see us, we do stuff together. You know, the Final Count, like you said, and I would like there to be. In all reality, I'd like for there to be a Nice Guy Andy podcast down there where you guys are, so they could cover you guys more. I wish I could get down there more to you guys.
Because we want to showcase the best of the best.
And if I didn't have a day job, which, you know, I got a few more years to retire, and hopefully this podcast will be bigger, and if maybe we can get down to cover you guys more in the next few years.
Well, maybe Joe will. Maybe Joe will come to the table and start doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And once again, that ain't a slap to Joe. I mean, it's just there's a need for it. He's presentable enough and he can talk. And you know, even though my personal feelings with Joe's one thing, that doesn't mean that he has anything bad going on.
Oh, me too. I don't necessarily. Not necessarily don't like Joe. I just me and him don't communicate with each other. He says the oddest stuff to me when I'm like with him. I'm like, I wanted when we was down in Caverna down there, not Caverna, but where me and Johnny had Selena and Salina. I went to talk to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're okay," and I'm like, "That's not us talking about what's going on." He just come out with with like, "Yeah, we're okay," and I'm like,
"You know, it was him that called you over." He's like.
Yeah, he called me over and was like, "Oh, we're okay." And I'm like, "What's that mean, Joe? Like, you say the weirdest stuff to me. You can get on the camera and talk to the camera and talk to other people, but when he comes to me and talks to me, he just says the weirdest stuff. Does he say weird shit to you like that?
Well, why do you think I smack him?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, come on.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, act like that I'm the people that you're talking to on the camera, and let's just have a conversation.
Yeah, because, I mean... He's got a lot of talent at doing different things, and you know, of course, we've replaced him with Haley and Carla, and they've done very well too.
Heck yeah, they have.
Tell them to get in contact with us, and if they want to send us any clips or something for us to post, please.
Yep.
And maybe we can get to do they post for you on?
No, typically Mike, my audio video guy, he takes care of the majority of that.
Yeah, he has his own podcast YouTube page, don't he?
Yeah, he does, and I get so tickled at it. And some people hate on him because they don't like him switching back and forth between scenes because he just does like one little yep. And it's so annoying to some people.
Yeah.
But I get so tickled at it. It's like, heck yeah, Mike, I love it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Mike Ware. I'm trying to remember.
I think I've talked to him a couple times.
Yeah, he's.
I would love to work with him more.
Yeah, and Mike probably would.
But he's down there, and we're down here, and we need to communicate more. But like, you know, maybe I can make him an administrator on one of the pages, and he can post stuff on there.
Yeah,
I don't mind to make people administrators if they're going to post and stuff. You know, I got several people posting stuff for us, and you know, we could all share content. You know, it's not a problem.
Well, Andy, one thing I learned a long time ago: you can't do it all yourself.
You can't, and there's no reason to.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
There's
no I in team.
It's not like we're like making millions of dollars or anything, and then somebody's like hoarding up all the money over here, and you know, I get in trouble sometimes because you know. the podcast brings in money,
mm-hmm.
and I'm told, well, you should take that money and pay your bills with it. And I'm like, the podcast is its own thing. The money that the podcast makes, the podcast has to pay its own bills with. It's like to keep it going, or there won't be that money coming in. It's like you gotta like. You can't just like take all the money and you're not doing
like a drunken sailor.
Yeah, if you're not doing all the work, like you got to keep the thing going. You got to keep it going, and hopefully at some point it'll get as bigger than what it is. And
I think that the people should be tuning into Triple Crown Wrestling and Ultimate Championship Wrestling, USWF.
Yeah. I wish we had like a. I want to look into. Really, would love to have a Roku channel.
Well, I actually, all right. You know, I just told you you can't do everything yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can, and I fail a lot, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Success comes out of failure. But I had it in my mind the other day. I was going to build my own app, and I got about 6 hours into it, and then I'm like,
this is a little harder.
Yeah, I'm not doing this.
But we can like buy a Roku channel and put all of everybody's combined stuff on that and see what it done. You know,
I'm in.
You know, it does cost money, but like, you know, if everybody threw in a little bit here and there and everybody just posted as you know, say, hey, this is your time slot, this is your time slot. You pay, you sell sponsorship on your stuff in your time slot, and I'll sell sponsorship on my time slot, and then, you know, we'll all, when the bill comes in to pay for the channel, we all pitch back in, and you know, whoever don't work it, will fall out, and whoever does work it will stay in it.
We started off on an app, a channel, a station, and I'm not going to bring them up because I don't want to promote them, because, you know, they was good, very good to us for a while, and we was their top rated show the entire time. But they never would share any content. It's almost like they was embarrassed of having a wrestling product, but some of their other stuff on there was just horse crap. And then they just kept wanting more and more involvement, but it was like, we're giving them all this involvement, but the promotion side of it, they're not promoting us for anything whatsoever. And so we decided to pull the plug on that and just go. We're on YouTube now, and eventually we'll. Yeah. I've got some things in the works to do some other stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, the Roku channel you're talking about. I mean, if y'all figure that out, I wouldn't be opposed to.
I've been called and offered. They call me all the time and offer it to me, and it's just like, it's just not in my budget right now to do.
We got someone wanting to call in.
Well, who could this?
What's up, Jabo? My cousin. What's up, Jabo? Love you, man. Terry said, "What happened to the guy in the white shirt? Did he have to go?"
No, he had to go because his girlfriend's sick.
Terry's so funny.
Hello.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, what do you got in the background? What do you got in the background? Turn it off.
Already got it off.
There we go.
Kind of walk away a little bit. Just that karaoke night over at Tin Roof. Okay. How's it going, Brandon?
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
A party man Cam.
Oh, Lord help you. You know better than to be playing that old junk in the background where you're addressing greatness, you fool. What's wrong?
You know what? Here's the thing. You owe my pop some money because apparently you cheated on the poker game with Athens, which y'all all missed. But I just want to get on here and say, Brandon, you are the greatest man I ever known. You taught me lessons over and over and over, and I appreciate you. That's why I wanted to come up on here to get it on about. Because I haven't seen you in a while, and I know we haven't talked in a while, but I wanted to let you know I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you too, man, and I appreciate those sentiments. See, that is a guy that knows what's going on.
He's gotten smarter since the last time you seen him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, party man.
Thank you. Y'all keep on doing what you're doing. Follow the NiceGuyAndy podcast, y'all.
That's right.
So silly. That dude is so silly.
But at least
you can't help him love Cam. He's crazy.
Yeah. Cam could do some stuff too, and you know, I like Cam, and getting him grounded. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
Getting him
he's
grounded.
All over the place sometimes, most of the time.
He is, but I think another 2-3 years.
He's young still.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate him calling in. At least he does have good taste.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good job, Cam. So, But no, Terry, what'd you say Terry said?
Hey, Terry said, what happened to the guy in the white T-shirt? I think he's talking about B-Money.
B-Money's girlfriend got sick.
Did he have to go poop? Is what he's...
Lord.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You can't take that guy anywhere.
Terry is crazy. I love Terry. Terry needs to come up to the studio, and let's have him in the studio.
Yep, and promote Ultimate Championship Wrestling.
I tried to get him.
I was hoping you'd bring him.
I was trying, and Terry's work schedule, my work schedule, and it's just hard to.
We're gonna have to go to Terry, aren't we?
Probably. Yeah. As bad as I hate to say it, you almost had to come to me, but I'm like,
Yeah.
Nothing against Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
I just don't like coming to Lexington.
Lexington's great.
I'm a Bowling Green guy.
Yeah, Lexington's great. I'd love for you guys to come up here and throw a show every once in a while.
Trey just chimed in. He said, I'd leave as well. Listen to this whole shit. Just because Brandon T. Wilson helped Parliament Cam up off the pavement in Monticello, and I want to drive over him. He comes up, Wilson over.
Guys, I would like to say that Terry's embellishing that, but that's the truth. So Cam ends up passing out in the parking lot, and I thought he was dead. Okay,
yeah.
And of course,
Cam's a little dramatic sometimes.
He's very but I wouldn't put it past him running him over, or if he did run him over, but evidently Cam ended up having having a sugar problem. They found out he hadn't eaten nothing all day.
Yeah.
And he'd been drinking all those daggone energy drinks all day. And after I found out about it, I was like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
If you needed something to eat, I'd have paid you in hot dogs.
Yeah.
But he didn't even take the pay that night.
Yeah. Cam's like a hamster.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of, you don't spend a little bit of attention to Cam every day, he'll get on that little wheel and he'll run himself to death.
And that explains why Chris Crow speared him.
Oh my God, that sums Cam up in a nutshell.
Yeah,
He
he's
really
got so much energy. He'll run that little wheel and he'll just fall out. He'll just fall out. And you're hoping that you give him that little water bottle and he comes back, but you never know about Cam.
He's up there and
yeah, he'll just run that little
wheel.
He
almost got sent to heaven by Terry England.
Yeah,
running him over.
Terry. Oh my gosh, he'll come off with some of the crazy stuff. Now, I do have to tell this story. Okay,
yeah, please.
Terry, we went to Marshall County, Kentucky, and I'm glad Terry's on because I was waiting for him to get on to tell this story because he hates whenever I tell it. And he'll probably have some type of rebuttal that it wasn't true, but I've got eyewitnesses. And it involves Kevin Sinclair, Joe Monroe, myself, Terry England, and Terry's girlfriend, Nora. So we went to Marshall County for the fair show out there. I drove my ring out. We set it up, and we had a pretty good show. And driving back, Terry was driving it. I hear something buzzing right now. Is it Terry?
Probably.
But so we get to coming back, and we stop and pick up some banners, and across the street there's the gas station, which I don't know if we can mention them by name, but
yeah, go ahead.
5-star.
Yeah,
and so he goes in there and meanders around. That man cannot pass up a 5-star. I mean, he should be a brand ambassador for these guys. And my kids even make fun of it. It's like, well, there's Terry Star. I can't remember what they call it. Terry Star, something. But
Terry Star.
Yeah,
show.
Something. And he walks in there and meanders around like an old man. I think he had to poop, just to be honest with you. And he comes back out, and we were supposed to stop and get something to eat because we hadn't ate anything, and we was going to wait till we got down the road. Well, we're driving. Kevin's driving, and I'm riding because I hate driving. And next thing I know, I'm getting a call from Terry. Hey, when should I get gas in this truck? How long is it till after the light comes on that I need to get gas? And that truck, I swear, if that gas light comes on, you better start panicking. I don't care if you're next to a gas station, they'll figure out a way to run out of gas.
Yeah.
That thing's been run out of gas, I know, 9 times in the last 2 years. And
that's the truck with the ring on it, right?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah. Nice truck.
Yeah.
So, remember, we're at a 5-star. We're driving, and we're probably 30, 40 minutes into this trip back home, and he calls me and he says, how long is it after the light comes on that I need to get gas? I was like, you better be finding some gas right now. And he's like, all right. So I hang up the phone and I immediately start looking for gas stations for him. And he calls me back like 30 seconds later. He's like, I think we're running out of gas.
Oh, my God.
And luckily, we was at an exit. And I was like, well, just pull over. So what that tells me, though, is that that gas light might have been on a little bit longer than what he said it was. And so he pulls off the exit. We get off on the exit, but he runs out of gas. We can't even go all the way down, okay? So we pull in front of him. I get out. No, I go on. Kevin goes on. And the only thing, guess what's open? The only thing in this entire area off this exit is a Dollar General.
Oh, wow.
Of course there's a Dollar General. And there's a gas station, but guess what? It's closed.
Oh, no.
And I looked up the next gas station's like 11 miles, so I knew we was going to have to get a gas can, go get it, bring it back. And even if we'd have got a gas can, we probably wouldn't have made it back to the gas station. So I'll go in the Dollar General, and Kevin and Joe's with me. We walk in, and they is out of gas cans.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
And those boys freaking out. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And Kevin, whenever something like that presents, he just throws his hands up. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. and Joe's over there like, oh, I can't believe Terry run out of gas. I can't believe Terry run out of gas. And what that idiot. I can't believe it. We was at a 5-star. He should know better. He should put gas in the vehicle. And I'm sitting there thinking, you think? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's logical what he should have done.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to give up. So I looked down, and they had a 3-gallon mop bucket.
Oh, that's perfect.
And guess what else that's out of? Funnels.
Oh, no.
So I go to Housewares, and I get those little stubby funnels, the little bitty ones. And I was like, we're going to make this work.
Hell yeah.
And Joe and Kevin's looking at me, and they're like,
Do it yourself.
That ain't going to work, because they had in their mind it wasn't going to work. And I was like, boys, I'm from Casey County. It's going to work.
Oh, we're going to put gas in this truck.
We're going to put it in.
Yourself.
That's right. And so I go up to the counter to pay for this, and I said, I looked on Google, and the closest gas station is like 11 miles. And he was like, no, dude. He was like, that gas station says it's closed, but you can still pump by card. All the lights was shut off. Yeah. Everything.
We must have ran into the same gas station, because we had the same thing going on with us.
Yeah. So we ended up getting over there, and I pumped about 2.7 gallon of gas, because I couldn't get it up to the 3 gallon because it was a mop bucket. And of course, Joe, he's in the back seat, and Joe knew he was going to be the guy holding it.
Holding the bucket.
And so he gets in the back seat, he's holding the mop bucket, and I'm sitting there. We're driving. We got all the windows down because, Lord, we didn't want to get high off gas fumes.
Yeah.
Kevin goes, we're going to have to drive all the way down the next exit and come back up and then get back off. And he had this whole plan. And I said, the heck we are, Kevin. We're driving up this daggone exit backwards if we have to. And we did.
Yeah.
Well, not backwards, but we drove up the wrong way, I guess what you need to say.
Yeah.
And there was Terry standing outside the truck, and he had that cat that eat the canary look. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And he knew he'd messed up. He knew that we was going to rib him about it. He knew it was going to become a story. And everybody that I see that me and him both know that we haven't seen in a while, that's how I start out the conversation. Hey, let me tell you what Terry done. And so it's an ongoing story. And so we end up getting that gas back in that truck, and we get it pulled down to the gas station, get enough gas in it to get it back to a bigger gas station, because they only let us pump like so much.
Yeah.
And needless to say, we didn't get anything to eat because it was late by the time we got back. But Joe, the whole ride home, he's like, I can't believe Terry done that. I was like, boys, this one thing that y'all are missing. These are some of the stories that we get.
Exactly.
Yeah, then it was crappy when it was happening, but now it's like the best story ever.
Oh, it is. So I went home, and I designed my own posters and stuff. So I went and recreated the whole 5-star logo.
Yeah.
And I put Terry England's name, same font and everything. I had stickers made. I had a shirt made. I got a Hawaiian shirt made that has that logo all over it. And I handed the stickers out, and I just got that Hawaiian shirt, and Terry walks in, not the last Ferguson show, but the Ferguson show before, and I'm wearing that thing. And Ronnie and everybody, like, me and Ronnie don't get along, but he walked past. He just lost it. And he's like, Terry's going to beat your... Yeah, I was like, no, he's not. But anyway, so Terry walks in, sees that shirt, and El Cheapo Terry, he's like, well, did you buy me one? I want a shirt. So I give it to him. But
he said that, he chimed in. He
I
said
was about to bring that up.
Oh, you want to say it?
Yeah, he said, that piece of POS truck gets 2.5 miles per gallon and is criminally loud inside. Should be against the law to be on the road.
He's going on about that truck. I bought it used. I bought it with 22,000 miles on it. But the old man that he lives in the same county, he had bought the truck and let his grandson drive it. And the kid put puddle lights on it, Flowmaster exhaust system. It just it had these big old tires on it. And I got rid of them too. Yeah. But I bought it so cheap. Yeah. And Terry gripes because he can't hear himself think in it because it's so loud. But he's over here griping at me about the receipt. He's like, you still didn't get me a receipt for the gas. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
And he done the same. I didn't know this. He just told me this. He done the same thing in his own personal vehicle coming back from Marshall County this year.
No.
I think we were, was we leaving their show?
Yes.
We was leaving their show, and we almost ran out of gas. I was like, I looked down, and like the gas hand was on. I was like, Johnny.
I found the nearest gas station, and it was saying it was closed.
It was closed.
That was probably it if you was coming from Marshall County.
Yeah, it was closed. We pulled up to it, and I was like, oh, my God, it was closed. So I get my credit card out, and I'm like,
please.
I was thinking, some of these gas things will let you, and I put that in there, and I pulled it back out, and it went, and it's like, so we don't have to walk, guys.
But I think that was the same one.
Probably the same gas station.
Because there's like a 10-mile span between having stuff, not having anything, then having stuff again.
Yeah.
And so it had. If y'all's come from Marshall County, I guarantee you that was the same gas station.
Probably was.
Especially if it was next to a Dollar General. So. But the Dollar Generals always come in handy.
They do. They're great. They're great. The Dollar General. I go to Dollar General even here in Lexington a lot.
Oh, yeah.
The thing about it is, a mop bucket and that type of funnel, it will work.
It's
a
proven fact.
There's a way.
Yeah, it's a proven fact. But, that has to do with some of my greatness, I believe, too. So, I make things work whenever things just don't seem like they're going to work.
You see, they doubt
problem solver. That's
it.
That's one of my biggest attributes in life is I can solve some problems.
Yep.
Yeah, even like when I even started the podcast, I was like, I want to do a podcast. And I was like, I don't even know where to start.
Yep.
And I just...
do it yourself.
Just adding on and then learn this and learn that. And now we've been doing a podcast for 4 years.
Yep. And that's how I've learned how to do my promotions. I started out doing flyers where I just post a picture itself. Now I've learned how to cut out
Johnny's
the background.
learned so much in the last 4 years.
He's
it's incredible.
It's
incredible what Johnny's learned in the last 3 years. Last 3 years.
Yeah, I came on in 2022.
Yeah.
It's March 2022. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. We've been on here 2 hours.
I come on and I told Johnny before we come on, I was like, I think I can give you 45 minutes to an hour tops.
Yeah.
And
everybody says that.
I know. And I even told my wife, I was like, I'll probably be home probably by 11, do the trip, the timing and stuff. Yeah. But I've had a good time. I really have.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
So I appreciate y'all and appreciate everything y'all trying to do for everybody. And we're always here for you.
That's what we do. We
right.
and we do this for fun. And we would love for it to make money, but we do it for fun. And it's all about putting over the guys, the wrestling guys, the wrestlers, and you guys promoters, because everybody's just so nice to us. Yep. Everybody's so when we come to the shows, everybody invites us in and lets us do our thing, and we appreciate everybody all you guys, and we do. I'd love to get down there to you guys more. I'd love to. There's another guy that I don't get to get down there to see is Allied Pro Wrestling. We don't get to see those guys.
He's east.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't get to go see them as much. Henry Shaw is a fucking great guy.
And we've had him on here at least 2 times.
Yeah, he's been up here a couple times, and
He's doing his last match next month.
Yeah. We don't get to get down there and see them as much, and I'd love to get down there and see those guys.
Terry England said this though before we go. The gas station pumps were 24 hours, but it was dark and no receipt. Store part was closed.
See, I told you he's grabbing about that receipt.
Yeah.
So he had to put his 2 cents in. You see how he is. You see the life that I have to deal with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At this point, we'd love to let everybody say their last words. Johnny, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Brandon, it's been a pleasure to finally get you inside the studio after 2 years. It was worth it. TCW is where it's at. People should be going and watching and pay attention because greatest promoter ever. He's the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Do you hear that, Terry? You hear that, Terry?
Stay nice.
I would love if you can possibly make this happen. Jimmy, you, Terry in here.
I'll try.
That'd be incredible.
That'd be a good
and we don't have to
podcast.
do it anytime soon. And we can do it maybe, when the weather's better back in the spring or whatever.
Yeah.
But at some point, I'd love to do that. Or maybe even we could come and do it
Y'all
with you guys.
y'all always more than welcome, and I'll try to get these guys up here.
Jimmy's been up here like 3 or 4 times now.
Yep.
Jimmy didn't want to come at first, but then after we got him up here, it's so easy to get him up here now. He's closer now than we even thought he was.
Oh yeah, he's not too far. He's farther than I am, but or I'm further than he is. But it's still not horrible.
Yeah.
Terry's probably the furthest away, and his job prohibits him from doing a lot too. He's a hard worker. I mean, I kid around with him all the time, but dude, him and Chuck will drive from his home out in near Horse Cave, and they'll drive down to Monticello, and they'll poster from Monticello.
Yeah.
And the guys need to be, some of the lower guys that's training and coming into the business, they need to be helping out with that stuff. But Chuck and Terry both are huge assets doing that stuff. They poster the town. They do it very well, meticulously.
I'd love to have Chuck up here sometime.
Oh, Chuck would be awesome.
I would love to have him on here.
Chuck would be awesome. Chuck,
if Terry comes, bring him too. I'd love to have him on it because every time I go to one of the shows, he seems to sneak up on me and say something in my ear, and I'm like, this guy's
ninja,
great.
Andy.
Huh?
He's a ninja.
Yeah, he sneaks. He usually sneaks right up on me and was like in my ear, and I'm like, all right, and then he just goes on his own way. I love that guy.
Chuck worries to death, and he'll come up to me like, Brandon,
yeah,
we got a problem. I'm like. And I already in my head that we don't have a problem, Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck thinks it's a problem because he don't want to fail at anything, but he'll come up, we got a problem, and then he'll tell me, it'll be something like, they're out of toilet paper in the bathroom.
Oh my God!
And I'm like, well, go tell the receptionist.
Go to the dollar store next door.
or I think I miscounted a ticket. I'm like, I'm sure you didn't, and if you did, I'll probably be able to vary it out with the money.
We'll be able to make it.
Yeah, and
it's not going to end the story.
Dude, he's like right on with everything. Though.
That's cool. Though.
I mean,
that's good to have a guy like that.
Oh yeah,
you got to have somebody like that.
Well, Terry's got Chuck. I've got Mike. I've got Chris. I've got the Troxels. I've got Emby Jennings. Emby, God, that guy, like you talk about a workhorse man, and I got Dusty Meeks. I mean, I've just got a good crew all the way around that does so well for anything we do, and
not a lot of people. A lot of people get to see those wrestlers in the ring for that product, but they don't get to hear about the guys that are doing what you just said.
That's exactly
in the
right.
back. And shout out to all those guys. Shout out to all the ring crews for all these productions. And promotions, and shout those guys. Thank you guys for doing what you guys do.
Yep, because our guys couldn't do what they do without them, and it takes a lot of getting rid of the wrong people to get the right people. But we've got the right people now.
Yeah, exactly.
And the wrestlers don't get frustrated with them anymore.
Exactly.
We had this one guy and girl. They almost stalked the wrestlers, and I'm not going to mention names, but y'all probably know who I'm talking about. But I mean. There's a few of them that says, if they come up to me tonight, I'm going to punch them.
I wouldn't put past them.
Well, you go ahead and say everything you need to say. Shout out whoever you want to. Tell everybody about your YouTube page. Tell YouTube channel, and tell everybody about your Facebook.
Yeah, we got Facebook. it's Triple Crown TCW, I think. Just if you just go search Triple Crown Wrestling, you'll find it.
Yep, pop up.
YouTube, same thing. Just search Triple Crown Wrestling, it'll pull it up.
Please subscribe to his YouTube.
Please do.
Yeah.
All of it. Instagram, it's Triple Crown Wrestling. I'm very lucky that I get to keep those. The only thing I had to add TCW on, I think, was the YouTube page and the Facebook page. And we got Twitter. X. I'm sorry, it's called
Twitter,
X now.
yeah.
So we got that.
I like Twitter.
Yeah, it's the Triple Crown, _Triple Crown. So I try to post all these now, especially since I found a new program to help me do that. People keeps telling me I need to get that. What is it? TikTok. I don't know how to run TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok's weird.
TikTok's more like a story as well.
Is
like
it?
You're doing viral video and it's
Just kind of like just clips and stuff like that. You know,
I'll make my wife do it from concessions.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it helps out. Like we found out the biggest thing to get subscribers on YouTube is fire on those shorts.
Yeah,
fire on the shorts. Do the reels on Facebook. It grows. It grows. We attack the Facebook. Facebook with. I wish I had. I always tell Johnny. Me and Johnny talk about it all the time. I was like, I need 2 more Johnnies and 2 more me's.
You need 10 more of them.
Yeah. If I had, it's like, but if I had 3 Johnnies and 3 me's, this podcast would be huge.
Yeah. So some of our guys that help us out, y'all come to Russell County, I'll take you to dinner. Strapoli's Famous Pasta.
Okay.
It's some of the best food you'll eat. They're one of our sponsors. He's one of my good friends. JRR Motors, it's my company I work for. They've been very supportive of everything we've done. If you need a car, come to them. Of course, Phenomenal Finds, ATLE.
Oh, those guys are great.
People,
super
Eric,
guys. Yeah, Eric and Carla both. But, they find a lot of that rare wrestling item stuff. Player One Gaming in Russell County. Alan's super good to us. I'm trying to think of everybody that helps out. Mike W. Productions on YouTube. That's Mike Ware. If you want something good to watch,
go Mike Ware. Go watch him on YouTube.
And if I've left anybody out, I apologize. Ultimate Championship Wrestling, go like and share their stuff. USWF, AMW.
This weekend, guys, AMW.
Yeah, make sure y'all come out to AMW.
Games.
I'll be there. Terry will be there. Jimmy will be there. All the stars will be there too. So just come out and support them. Come get an autograph with the Godfather. He's a super guy to talk to. Does a very good show, and we're going to have a lot of stuff coming up. But once again, I'm going to mention the big show, and that is Caverna. It's going to be in March. We haven't decided whether it's going to be the first or second weekend yet. We're still trying to hammer that out. We're still trying to decide who we're bringing in. It could be Matt Riddle. It could be Bobby Lashley. It could be Jeff Jarrett. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
Lord, right. Terry, you need to get that pocketbook open, let those moths out a little, and pay me.
Everybody loved Hillbilly Jim last year.
Oh, they did. And Hillbilly, that guy,
they loved him.
He doesn't come out much.
Yeah.
And he come out and he done that show and signed autographs and was very good to Terry. It wasn't everybody.
Seemed like a super nice guy.
He just loves seeing the fans.
That reel that we made with him and Terry dancing in the ring, I think it got 1 million views.
Did it really?
It did.
Well, good for y'all. Good for y'all. That's good.
Yeah.
And it also got more eyes for UCW.
Yeah. I mean, not just for us. It does help to pay the bills around here, but
sure.
Worldwide, people know because not because of us, but we try to put the names of TCW.
Sure.
Worldwide, the podcast is this podcast is worldwide, sure. Not like as big as like a Joe Rogan or anything, sure. But we have people we got 300 people that watch us regularly in New York City. Sure. I mean, in Pakistan and India and in Mexico and Europe. Like we got people watching everywhere, and everybody knows who. Yep. Everybody's seen Terry dancing with you. 1 million people seen Terry and Hillbilly Jim dance.
Yeah, and Sure, I wish y'all wouldn't have recorded that.
Yeah.
Jim's
that
okay,
was great.
But Terry, I don't know.
It was great. I loved it. I loved every
Terry
minute of it.
tried his best to imitate Hillbilly Jim's dance.
I loved every minute of it, and we'll probably repost that at some point. We trying to repost the some of the stuff we posted last year, but. Mm-hmm. Guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Brandon, for coming up, and you drove for and I'd love to get you and Terry and all you guys in here and have a bigger another podcast with you guys because I'd love to see you guys bicker back and forth with each other. That would be great.
That'd be a fun
guys, go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, please. Like, share, comment, touch the. All the bells and whistles over there at YouTube and Facebook.
Also have a website, www.triplecrownwrestling.com. It's more of a landing page to go to other places, but it does get all the news and information. So.
Heck yeah, there we go. We need one of those ourselves. But, guys, if you're not having fun,
you ain't getting none. Damn, Skippy.
Nice Guy Andy Podcast. Skullface Records Radio.
That ain't what your mama said. If he keeps popping off at the mouth, I'm gonna be his dad. Ooh, yeah!
So those were expensive shoes. You guys, that diamond is custom made.
Watch the Nice Guy Andy Podcast.
This is a Zodiac. I'm telling you now, meditate, elevate, and dominate. Do it with the Nice Guy Andy Podcast.
Anyways, you guys.